Welcome back
to the Unapologetic Podcast, where we have unbiased views and thought-provoking ideas.
Let's get it.
Let's do it. All right, welcome back. Back to the Unapologetic Podcast. Today we're cruising a little bit again, hopefully with a little bit more energy this time around.
What the hell does that say?
It says Joyage.
What is Joyage?
Bro, fucking beats me, to be honest.
Welcome back, motherfucker.
Welcome back to the podcast, where we talk about everything, anything, unapologetically.
I'm sorry. Not really.
Not really. Nah. We ain't sorry. Are we sorry? Nah, we ain't sorry, bro. All right, bro. How you been these past few days?
Cold. It's really cold.
It is. It's fucking cold. It's way too cold. I'm ready for the spring/summer, bro.
I'm just ready for summer.
I can't wait for it, to be quite honest. I got this cold coming through right now, so my voice is a little bit different probably, but...
Yeah, that's the reason we haven't been able to get any content out there.
Yeah.
We have kind of exhausted our backlog.
And we had plans to meet up on Sunday too, but I couldn't. That's when I got sick. Was not feeling well.
And plus we have to upgrade the quality, so that's why with these new mics, not sponsored, but
DJI. If you want to, sponsor someone,
wink wink,
wink wink. We will have a second channel. Actually, we should probably tell them about those, right? We'll have a few of those channels. Yeah. So we got a few more channels coming up. We got
a travel channel, which is gonna be our adventure channel when we go on adventures, because we are planning on taking a couple of trips and going to a couple places, and we want you guys to be part of it.
Yeah.
Which we'll get into more detail on the channel.
Think we've already decided it'll be Unapologetic Adventures.
Yes.
Honestly, we got some great logos coming up. Like it's gonna be awesome. Also, we will be creating an Instagram where we'll be posting photos and shorts.
Yeah.
Of certain
all our adventure
destinations,
details,
yeah.
and like very adventure type content is going to be on our Instagram.
Also, excitingly, why I came up with this and to spew it to you guys now, we will also be creating unapologetic products.
Yes.
Where we'll talk about, like these mics, for example. They've been really cool. I like them.
They might be the first video actually that we're able to put out there. That is going to be more video type, so you guys are going to be able to see the product, and we'll review it and give you guys all the specs and everything about it.
Yeah.
And what we enjoy and the pros and cons, of course.
Absolutely. I think there's a lot with these. We'll see.
So yeah, if you guys are into more of product side, more tech side, and you guys want to learn about some new products and just stuff like that, check out that channel. If you guys want to be more on the whole adventure side of things, and you guys are more into travel and stuff like that, well, check out Unapologetic Travel
Adventures. Yeah, you're right. Actually, you know what? Maybe we should leave it up to some of our people. Like, if anyone comments on this, like, what do they think? Unapologetic travels or adventures? I like adventures.
I like adventures.
But, if you guys think that we should sway a different way, let us know down below.
Yeah, we'll switch it up.
Yeah.
And then, last but not least.
Yes.
Something that we do.
That we enjoy.
On the daily, occasionally. Sometimes you leave it to the end of the day to do.
True.
Yeah, we're making unapologetic eats, which is more food-wise, that we're gonna do very different types of food.
Yeah, drinks even. I think maybe coffee reviews, coffee places, coffee spots, yeah.
Yeah, just in general, everything that is consumed.
Yeah, exactly. I like it.
So yeah, follow the Instagram on that as well. We'll be uploading the foods and just kind of giving our unbiased review on stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, prepare yourselves. Better make the good food.
We got a lot coming, so we're excited about it. Hopefully you guys will get excited about it and give us some feedback and thoughts and ideas, and
we'll keep going from there.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
But let's get into it today. What did you want to talk about, bro? What's going on? What's on your mind?
There's a lot on my mind.
There's a lot on my mind too, bro.
So what we can start off is with going to a job and you're not really feeling fulfilled. So at this point in time, you're not giving your all because you're knowing that you're going to be paid either salary or an hourly basis.
Yeah.
And it's not going to, they can let you go at any point in time.
Yeah, I think there's a big issue going on with that, because it's hard to find people who want to do the work and enjoy it. Also, though, why would you?
It's like if you're not passionate about something, you're not going to give your effort, right? Like it's like any assignment. Like
exactly.
if you were in school, right, or you are in school, the subjects that you're really passionate about is the ones that you're going to really get into it, and you're going to be very creative. You're going to be you're going to have that drive to do it.
And that's where arguably you would get better grades. You would get more in depth, right? Like you would involve yourself, like with the professor, for example. You'll be like, hey, I'm really interested in this. And this is obviously college, right? But even back in high school, I remember, like if you really floated one way, you were like really good with a PE teacher, for example, you would stick around with him. And
so I feel like that's a factor, right? Because if you're good with the person as well, or your higher ups, then you're going to be better off with the position you're in because
absolutely.
It's more understanding, and you guys I feel like it's a power play, right? If you don't see somebody above you and it's more of a even playing field, you feel more comfortable with work, you're able to joke around, you're able to it's not considered work really.
Exactly. To be honest, what you just said, that's really me in my current position, with my like team lead, for example. I really like, me and this dude we're almost like friends at this point. We're not even coworkers, but he's been like mentoring me through some of the things. He's been giving me all of the new cool projects that I want to work on. We have 5 team members, but he usually gives me the ones that he knows what I like, and it's because I have that personal connection that with that higher up,
But not just that, I feel like he knows that you're going to excel on those projects and
absolutely.
That you're going to go beyond.
Leading into that, right? Like that's a great point, right? Going back to your first statement of someone working for a company, getting paid, but can be laid off or fired at any moment, There's this dude on our team, right? Which, super great guy, don't get me wrong. But unfortunately, any task that he is handed takes him like months to complete, right? And my team, they'll get sick of it and they'll hand it off to me, and I'll get it done within an hour, like 1 hour, right? So like, and I feel bad because I'm not trying to outshine him, but that's just me and my work ethic. Like I'm trying to just get everything I can done when I can get done.
So back when I worked in a corporate setting, right? I remember being told by one of my higher ups, make yourself irreplaceable. The more that you do and the better that you do things, they're not going to have a reason to replace you or let you go.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And for some reason that really resonated with me. But at the same time, it's like you come from an understanding that, hey, everything that I'm doing and all the work that I'm doing, who is it really benefiting?
I mean, ultimately, the work that you're doing is benefiting the company, right, that you were working for at that time. I mean, ultimately. But the thing is like, it all depends on your outlook as a person. Because at the same time, as I was just saying, right, like, I get handed all these new projects and all of these new cool tech that we work with, that's knowledge for me that I can use wherever I want. I can use it in a personal setting, which I do. I can use it in another setting, like if I left this job and went somewhere else, right? Like it's almost an education without paying for an education, essentially,
So what I have to say with that is, because that is something that you're passionate about though, right?
True, yes.
When you get into a position that you're not really passionate about and you're just kind of going for a paycheck.
Right.
It kind of loses its value, right?
Absolutely.
Like, even if you're getting a bonus, like, whatever it is, over time, you're just kind of digging your own hole.
Absolutely.
Deeper and deeper. And
I mean, no, you're good.
I've heard a couple people actually, like watching other people's podcasts, that after a point they just kind of get fed up. They're like, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
And they're making good money, over 200K, and they're like, I can't no more.
I mean, ultimately, when you think about it, right, and this is like one of those cliche things that people say, right? When you're, for example, going to college, or you're looking at what your career is going to be, they say always, don't look at the money, look at if you're going to love doing that job, right? And I know it's a cliche thing, and it's pretty much almost common sense, right? For someone to be like, yeah, I know, like, obviously I'm going to do a job, but like you said, there's a lot of people out there who go for just the paycheck. They're not going for anything else. They don't enjoy the thing that they're doing. They don't enjoy where they're working at. They don't enjoy the company, right? Ultimately, you're going to be miserable. And like you said, even if you're making 200, 300, 400, 500K, right? Like, it doesn't matter how much money you're making. You're going to want to leave.
Is that the education system? Because they don't teach you, to explore what you're really passionate about. Or I feel like in school, there's steps, and they see, like, especially from it's tough because teachers go for a paycheck, right?
Of course.
And they don't really want to invest in a student like that. But I feel like that's the fault, right? Because if you see a student excelling in something and you see them having a passion for something, why not explore that and be like, hey, maybe you should take a look at this?
And I mean, I don't know about you, for example, like your experiences with elementary, junior high, high school, right? Mm-hmm. But I actually, thankfully, did have a few teachers that were like that. There was this one in elementary. Actually, there was two teachers that really noticed my enjoyment in tech from the get-go, right? I loved tech from the very start. Like I was mentioning to you earlier, there's pictures of me as a baby. I can't even talk yet. I can't even really walk yet, but I'm already messing around on a computer. This photo is like one of my favorites ever, right? Like, you just see a little me doing this. But anyways, where I'm getting at with that is, in elementary, there were these two educators who took me under their wing and said, hey, we want to send you to something called, at the time it was called CyberCore. Mm-hmm. And it's a nationwide program where they would send students who excelled in tech, and they would teach them more and more about tech. Like, these were after school programs. Mm-hmm. So that happened in elementary. Junior high and high school, I learned how to make use of the tech. And so, like, for example, like woodshop, right? He also had a computer lab. I knew how to, like, I don't know, manipulate the assignments and stuff like that to make it super easy for me, right? Like, I started doing it in that manner. But what I was going to also say is, you were telling me about some things that you've heard in school now, which I think they are getting better at, bro. Like, back when me and you went to school, it was really black and white, bro. You had English, writing, mathematics, science, and like, that's it. You know what I mean? PE. Like,
the core classes.
The core classes. That's it. You had no options of, like, business. You had no options of tech. You had no options.
Yep, and they are definitely getting better at that. I just saw that with my little brother.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's in junior high and middle school, junior high, whatever you guys call it, where you're from. But I was helping him choose his classes. No, I was like, it really, like,
shocked.
Yeah, it really stunned me, man. I had a loss of words to see they're teaching about business. They're teaching about computer science.
Yep.
More literature, like, oh.
And see, that's where I hope that they, like, you know, I hope that they educate the students, though, that is the time that they should be expanding and looking into it, right? Because let's be honest, sure, the core classes are important, don't get me wrong, right? It's important. But when you have the ability to select your classes like that, like business, literature, computer science, right?
Game design,
like, I really hope that they will tell the students, hey, don't just grab computer science classes, right? Yeah. Unless you already know. If you already know, like if you were in my shoes, right?
Yes.
Where you already knew. But if you want them to explore, I hope that they state that, like, hey, use this as an exploration tool.
And I saw these classes, right? And,
Yeah.
and here's my thing. We're kind of getting into that. Like, it kind of falls into the realm of the whole job thing, right?
Yeah.
My little brother, he has all these choices, but he really doesn't know what to take. He doesn't really care about any of them. He's doing them because
he has to. It's like mandatory.
Yeah, they're there.
They're there. Yeah.
Now, so I feel like it's something that education does need to push, right? Like,
yes.
Hey guys, these are of value to you.
Exactly.
This is something value.
I was gonna say that. Like, I feel like we let's be honest, right? There was even times where I had classes where I was like, dude, I really don't want to go here. I really don't want to do this class. I don't care about it, right? Like, we all have those classes. But at the same time, it's all about a mentality thing. It's all about how you look at it, right? So, like, if they can tell them, like, hey, this is of value. Like, I know you might not care about it right now, but just take the class and see if you like it. Because if you do, that might be your future career.
Exactly.
If you don't, then that's okay. Because you're in middle school / junior high, right? That's the time that you can be like, all right, whatever. I chalk it.
So here's my thing with that, right? We're really getting into education here.
That's fine, yeah.
It's a transition, but
it is.
I feel like when you're little and you're in that age, not saying for everybody, but I'm saying for someone like myself, right? You don't really care about learning like that.
Yeah.
I became more probed to wanting to learn everything, more interested in wanting to learn as I got older.
Right.
And then I would pick up books, and I really was like that, bred like that. So maybe I think that's a factor too, though.
Oh, for sure. I think there's a lot. Like I said, we are all different, right? That's an obvious point. But at the same time, we also all enjoy certain things differently, you know? But when I look at, like, for example, my cousins, right? The littlest one, he really reminds me of my aunt's brother. He does not care about anything whatsoever. Like, he excels in school. He has straight A's. He's a great student, but he does not care about it. He just does it just to get it over with, so that he can hop onto his iPad, tablet, whatever, and watch mind-numbing videos, right? Like, I don't know. Like, don't get me wrong. There are great videos on there. But some of the stuff that they're watching is really just like...
rots the brain.
It just rots the brain. Going back to, like, our podcast from last week, right? Like the Velma show, for example, right? Yeah. It's just mind-rotting. It's just, you're not gaining anything from it.
You're watching it just to numb yourself.
Right. Like...
autopilot. Shut down.
Like, to be honest, dude, when I even think about it back in the day, shows like, for example, like Arthur, right? I actually used to love that show simply because there were, like, little life meanings in there. And maybe I wasn't realizing it at the time, but I was taking them.
It was more of a morality thing, right? It brought morale to you. It brought some type of dignity. Oh, you have to... this is how you're supposed to...
treat people.
It give you that common sense. That's what it is.
Right, exactly. And then, like, after they had a few spin-offs, like, Buster's Travels or whatever, right? And that grew my passion and joy for traveling. I saw, like, what they were filming. I was like, dude, I want to travel in the United States.
Yep.
You know? But ultimately, like I said, where I'm going with it is some people just, I don't know, and some children just don't care about anything.
So going back into the topic we were talking about, so I feel like that's what it is with jobs, right? You enter a job and you just don't care.
Exactly.
You just don't care. You're not here's something with that, education and jobs.
Right.
Is it too easy? Is it not challenging? And also,
but the thing is like, you have to, I feel like you have to be a special kind of person to want something challenging, right? Maybe not a special kind of person, but you know that there is a lot of people who see a challenge, they get hit by one challenging item, and they immediately quit, or they don't want to do it.
I feel like it depends on how it benefits.
Right.
Right? It's all the benefit.
Sure. But how would you, for example, like at a job, going back to our original topic, right? How would you be like, hey, I'm giving you this challenging project. What are you going to get out of it, right? You get your paycheck. Is that beneficial enough, right? Like,
I think it depends.
It depends.
Because
I think so.
at the stage of life you're at.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if I were to join back the corporate world, I'd join something that I'd be passionate about, maybe marketing, right?
Right.
To learn more about marketing, and I'm becoming more into it, right?
That's exactly what we're saying, though, right? That's exactly that's the exact point, though. You're essentially saying you have to be interested in it. You know what I mean? You have to love it. For example, like for me, I told you about this 1 hour job that I did that took this kid like a month, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm passionate about my job. I love it. I love working with this kind of tech. This is like what I do. And that's why I got it done so quickly. And it was beneficial to me because I was like, I learned it. I did it. I feel accomplished, all of these things. But for him, he didn't feel that,
It brought value to you.
Right.
So where can we go from here?
So essentially, like, what I'm trying to say is, like, how do we get people interested into these things, right? Like, how do they find their passion? How do they find what they want to do?
But that's the thing, right? If you're in dire need of a job, you're gonna just join it because of the paycheck. And
right.
What happens? You don't stay that long. You get fed up with it. You leave, and then you end up unemployed, jumping from job to job, right?
Right.
But I feel like it's a difficult thing to find your passion if you're never really looking at it, right? Like if you're not, how could I say?
If you're not exploring it, kind of like.
Yeah, you have to explore it, right? But in order to explore it, maybe you do need to jump from job to job to see what you're really like. Oh, hey, I really like this.
Absolutely.
Because I know I've taken value from being in jobs like that, positions like that.
Although, question, right? Like, let's say you have to go to a job for the paycheck, right? Mm-hmm. But let's say this person is jumping from job to job in, like, going for the basic jobs, right? Like Walmart, McDonald's, things like that, because they're in dire need of money, right? Like they just need something ASAP. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like you're jumping from those kind of jobs. How are you going to find, like, are you really going to find yourself? Like, are you going to, you know what I mean?
I feel like it varies, right?
Sure.
Because the right type of person who could start off their job at Walmart, right? Because they're going for a paycheck because they're in dire need, their family needs it, right? It could probably open potential idea in his mind. Oh, hey, look how they're selling these products, and it becomes an e-commerce kind of thing.
Sure.
I think it just depends on the person, right?
But again, exactly, yeah. But that's, I feel like we're just going kind of in this circle, though, right? Where it's like it depends on the person, and it's this person that needs to want to do said thing. To have that, to gain that interest, to gain knowledge from it. Like if we go back to the school topic, to sit down and want to learn about it, but it's ultimately is like finding yourself and wanting to do that. That's the craziest part, I
mean, is it just finding a ground for it, and then maybe, I feel like you have to make yourself a list, right?
Sure.
Of things that you're really interested in. If you make yourself your list, oh, hey, this is what I made. Try looking for positions that are maybe kind of resemble that. It doesn't necessarily have to be so close to it because it's tough to get in those positions, right?
Sure.
Let's say you want to start making advertisements. You're not going to get into that position right away without any experience, right?
Right.
Well, it's baby steps, right? You have to get into that position, start looking at what they're doing, and then go from there.
Right.
If it catches your interest, well, you're gonna stick with it because hey, you're actually kind of job shadowing that person, right?
Right.
Maybe that's the thing too. Maybe we just need to job shadow people that or positions that we're interested in.
Sure.
A bit more.
Sure. Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. I mean, ultimately, also this goes back to another thing where. Like, I don't know if you wanted to talk about this on this podcast or on another one, but I think we can just tie this all in, to be honest, right? You were talking to me about how, like, you were entrepreneurial when you were little, right? And that, like, I already mentioned, right? I was into tech. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And the thing is like, we were kind of blessed in a manner, in a way, right? Because from a young age, I knew I was into tech. I knew I wanted to do tech. It did not matter what, right? And you let's say, like even maybe you don't want to do some entrepreneurial things, even though I think, as I know you, we always want to do something like that.
Exactly.
We were blessed from a young age.
Yeah,
Some people are blessed with that, right? Some people are like, it just hits them right there immediately.
Well, with my situation, I didn't really see it as being an entrepreneur. I was doing it just because it was at hand and I wanted to make some money. So
Sure.
what I would, a little backstory on that is I would go into my sister's room and take her CDs, any type of CD that she had. At this time, it was rap, hip hop. It was huge back in the day, the 2000s. And I would go door to door in the neighborhood trying to sell these CDs, and I would actually get some sales.
Oh man.
And then not just that, but even with jewelry, I would take her jewelry that she had and be selling it in school.
Damn, bro. Dude. Yeah.
But I was always doing that. I was always trying to catch a sale just to try to make some income. And I was always, dude, I remember being Easter egg hunting.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I have siblings and stuff like that. And I was very competitive. And the money that I would make, I would want to save to push on to something else. Which is crazy because I looking back at it, that it is seen as that, right? Very entrepreneur. But at the same time, I feel like there was a point in my life that kind of deterred me, that it broke me down. And I think it was maybe that could be an issue for people, right? When you hit a point in your life and you get broken down, somebody tells you that you're not capable of doing something. So you kind of really don't find your passion.
That is true, but at the same time, again, it depends on the person, right? Going back to it, because how you take it, right? You can take that as like, oh, all right, let me show you then. Like, let me show you. You're shutting it down? Watch this.
So an example for me would be with my life, right?
Mm-hmm.
In elementary school, one of my elementary school teachers, legit, I wasn't able to speak that great of English, and she just didn't like me, man. She really disliked me, and she actually told my dad that I wasn't gonna amount to nothing, and that I wasn't gonna graduate, and I wasn't gonna complete school or anything like that. Well, that kind of gave me a passion to, hey, watch me complete high school, watch me get out of, watch me actually graduating.
Yeah.
So maybe it was a shift of passions, because at that point, it's like, hey, now I gotta show this person up.
Exactly. That's what I mean. I think it's all about that person and how they take it, right? And ultimately, like, I don't know, dude, so going back real quick, like, dude, I wish me and you would have known each other back when you were selling those CDs. We could have been ripping that shit and selling extras, bro. You could have sold the same CD 10 times, bro. You know what? That's what we used to do back in elementary, right? So like Beanie, he would buy a CD, like the new Eminem CD, right? And he'd be like, hey, who wants it? You just rip that shit. Everyone gets the same copy. I buy some CD, like the new 50 Cent.
Well, if
right?
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, you're not supposed to, let's be honest, but we're kids at that time, right? You're young. You don't know what you're doing at that time, right? You don't know any laws. You don't know anything like that. Like, it was just like, I don't know, it was a passion project almost, essentially.
I mean, I got the sales. That's what mattered.
True. That's what I'm saying, though. Like, dude, if we would have been ripping those CDs and then selling that shit. But anyways, going back to it, though, is, like I said, ultimately, it's all passion. It's all like what strikes you at whatever moment. You know what I mean? Like, and it's your personality, though, because, like I said, there's a lot of people who are, someone says you'll never do it, they're just going to sit down and quit. But there's also a lot of people who will take that and, like you said, you know what? I'm going to show you I'm going to graduate. I'm going to show you I'm going to do this. You know what I mean?
So I feel like it's taking a risk. Take a risk. If it's a position that you don't feel that is going to get you anywhere, maybe you need to kind of look where it gets people. Talk to the people surrounding you, right?
Yep.
Because if you're not talking to other higher ups or coworkers, right, and seeing the steps where it gets you, well, maybe you're missing the bigger picture, right? maybe that is the position that you want to be, like, oh, you're passionate about, but it's higher up.
Yeah.
And you got to work to it. It's like anything. You got to put in the effort, right? Even starting a business, you have to put in the effort in order to do it.
But sadly, I mean, this is a whole nother topic I think we can get into, is that sometimes no longer exists. You know, there's this thing where it's like people just want it easy. They want the easiest thing. They want everything to be put on a platter, and that's it. You know what I mean?
I mean, there's no such thing as quick success.
There's definitely is not. You have to work for it, and you have to push for it.
Whatever you're seeing in Instagram or on social media is the end product. It's not the product. It's not stage by stage by stage.
Sure.
It's always the end product. Oh, hey, they're driving the Lambo. They're driving this. Oh, that's the end product. You don't see their failures. You don't see the background. You don't see what's going on in the back.
Although at the same time, right, you don't see any of that. Sure. But at the, you know, like, that's ultimately the thing, is like, you're seeing what you want to see. You're seeing where you want to get to, essentially, right? Like, you want to drive that Lambo, you want to have that penthouse, you want to do this, you want to travel there, you want that, right? But you have to, like you said, you have to use that as a fire, as a fuel. You're not going to get handed that, you know? Like, sure, there are some people who are just gifted with, like, talent or, I don't know, looks. There's some people who go off just by looks, right?
Oh, yeah.
Comedy, like if you're just a funny person, right? Like, some people are gifted with some of these things, but some people you really have to work on it. And that's the thing, though. You have to find what you really want and work towards that. Don't give up on it, you know? I don't know. That's what I get from it.
So, steps. Write down a list. See what you want, what you're interested in. Maybe look at your past, stuff that you've found interesting before or that you've done, and that you're like, hey, maybe I should give that a shot again. Or try to, like, reignite something. Or
you know what else you can do, honestly, is like, take your friends and family into account, right? Learn off of them. Learn off of those people. Like, look at some of your friends, for example, and if you, like, you see that they're doing something that you like. This is a great example, right? Is our one buddy that we saw the other week, right? You remember, dude? Like, he was like, dude, I want to work on tech like you do. I want to do this. I want to do that. And remember how me and you pushed him? We're like, dude, just go to school. Just do this. You can get there. You can do it, you know? I mean, sadly, he never did. He didn't do it. And now we saw where it led him.
Yeah.
And it's sad, right? But ultimately, is like, learn off of others as well. Don't just learn off of yourself. Use all of the resources you have.
And ask for opinions from people on what they see you. Because I feel like that's such a great value to have, that if people can give you their perspective on something that, hey, you're not seeing, maybe somebody else is seeing it from you.
Absolutely.
So having that knowledge does benefit you in a way. Hey, I see you doing this. Oh, I see you doing this. Or, hey, you're really great at doing this. Like, hey, that's
exactly
such a resource right there.
It's a great resource, right? Ultimately, like, and the other thing is like, listen, again, at the end of the day, that is someone's opinion of either you or of their job or whatever, right? That's an opinion. Don't take that as a hard fact or hard truth. Use that just as a learning resource for yourself. Be like, okay, this guy said this, or this person said that, you know? Take that and use it to, like, further research into something, into this stuff, you know? Look into it. Don't just be like, okay, yeah, he said that, so boom, that's it.
I mean, we have so much useful resources. There's videos that you can watch about different types of positions and businesses.
Ultimately, anything.
Anything, really.
Anything. Like, even if you, like, the thing is like, so our buddy that we were just talking about, right? With the whole tech thing. His biggest thing was he couldn't go to school because he didn't have the funds. He's never had the funds, right? Firstly, there's resources to help you get to school. If you want to go to the school route, there's so many resources.
Scholarships,
grants. federal aid, state aid, right? Like there is so many things you can apply for and go and get help with. Secondly, a lot of these classes that we have in college, you can pretty much teach yourself. You can go online. There are so many free classes. There are so many, like, honestly, all of the classes that I've taken, those are public websites. You can go on it and grab that assignment, you know? You can teach yourself if you ultimately want to.
I mean, doesn't Harvard had a YouTube channel page that they actually give lectures?
Absolutely, exactly.
That's a start.
And it's not even just like I said, it's not even just Harvard. Like my classes too, a lot of them had YouTube channels where they would upload their lecture in case you miss class. But what's keeping you from using that for your own benefit, even though you're not enrolled, right?
You can learn from it. It benefits you because then guess what? You're building a portfolio for yourself. But
that's the thing. You have to want to do it.
Exactly.
You because that is one thing about school, right? Like that is the way I use school. Is I knew I could have taught myself all of this, but it is some accountability. You know, like you're paying for this. You're paying thousands of dollars, so you can't let it go to waste. Like I can't just sit there and fuck around and lose my money essentially, right? Like it's like throwing money away. You're not gonna do that. So that's where school comes. But if you want to truly learn it and get into that field and do that,
you gotta invest.
You gotta invest. You gotta do that.
You're an investment. You gotta put yourself as it.
Exactly. Ultimately, I mean, let's go back though. Let's take it back to, you know, the original topic. I think we ventured pretty deep into this, but I think that has a direct translation to the people in the workplace, like you said, right? Yes, you are benefiting not yourself necessarily, but again, like we just said, how you look at it, the company is paying you to do a job. You've taken that. You've essentially you've signed a contract to say, yes, I will take this money. In return, I will better this company, right? Mm-hmm. That's essentially what you're signing for. People that are not doing their job, like I'm sorry, like I don't know, like to me it's, what are you doing then, right? Because you're wasting your time, you're wasting the company's time. You're just like, it's just a waste, right? Like, come on, you know?
Exactly.
That's the way I look at it. Like this guy that works with us. I'm telling you, great dude. Love talking to him about anything besides work, right? Yeah. When it's work, dude is like not there at all. He's never around. Like whenever you're asking him, like, hey man, you send him a chat, he's not there. Mm-hmm. It's like, bro, what are you doing then? You know what I mean? Like what's going on here?
He's in the bathroom.
Exactly, right? Like pooping on company time, right? But like I said, you just have to want it. You have to want to do it. If you're not happy at your current position, I personally recommend you go look. Like, because you're not, like, if you don't wake up and you're like, yes, I'm going to go and do this.
Use the current position you're in to leverage you. Use it for the income that you're bringing in. Don't just give up on it.
Yeah.
But also go invest in yourself to
exactly.
to really learn and embrace what you are, what you feel passionate about.
Exactly. Is that essentially though, like, you know, I could have taken this a whole different direction that you wanted to take it in. Is that the direction you wanted to take this topic in, or what are you thinking? Like, what's your thought on that? Like, on the people, like, on so many people nowadays not doing their job but getting paid for it. You know what I mean? Like, essentially laziness.
I mean, I feel like everybody, it is a direction that it kind of involves everything about it, right?
Sure.
Because if it goes back to everything, right? Like, if you're just kind of going through the motions in a position to get a paycheck, because you're just lazy. You clock out on time, you clock in on time, 2 minutes, you're there 2 minutes to your job, like 2 minutes before you're supposed to clock in.
Yeah.
Because that's when you're supposed to be there. It's not anything like, oh, hey, when you're passionate about something, you're gonna fucking stay overtime. You're gonna fucking be there no matter what.
Yeah, you're gonna get there early, even, right? And that's the thing, though, is like, I don't know. I think there's also a deeper topic here that we could also hit. Like, not necessarily this time, but we can mention this and keep this for another podcast. Is is humanity, right? And is even tech, is everything around us causing us to be more lazy? Quick answer on my end. I personally think so. But we can, like I said, we can take this another time and we can talk about it.
You want my answer?
In depth. Yeah, absolutely. I want your answer. Wait, is that a yes or no?
It's That's what it is.
That's what it is. But yeah.
Yeah, we could. I feel like we've pretty much crushed this one right
Sweet.
now.
Okay. I mean, we can always revisit this too. Like if if we see something and we can bring topics back in.
I feel like our thoughts are always changing, so
absolutely.
we could always look back at this as reference and add more detail to it, or add more information, how we feel about it.
Or even change, right? We could even potentially change our thought on it.
Next time I might be like, nah, you just lazy motherfucker, you gotta grind.
And that's where I want our community, you guys, to be involved, actually. Help us realize other things. Leave comments down below. Join our Discord community.
Join the Discord.
Follow the Instagram pages. Just leave comments and let us know what your thoughts are on this topic.
How do you guys process things? How do you guys process opportunities of positions, and do you guys feel really responsible for them? Right.
And do you feel like you're even able to find your passion and essentially like chase it?
And here's another one. Do you feel like you're being compensated enough?
That's another one where, there's a lot of economic ties to it, leading back to our last podcast. There's a lot of things there.
Yep.
But yeah, leave your comments down below and let us know, because if you feel like you're not getting compensated enough for that job, then I don't know, I would ask, then why are you there?
Exactly.
Right? Why don't you go and look for that same exact position somewhere else who will pay you that?
But that's to be determined.
Yes.
That's up to you guys.
Leave comments.
Let us know. And yeah, we're going to wrap this one up.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for listening. If you made it this far, please leave a like.
Subscribe if you're new. Hit the notification bell to stay up to date, and catch us on the socials.
Links down below. And until next time, peace.
Peace.